Welcome to the Art Piece Experiment. We're your hosts, two artists and friends. I'm Tasha.
And I'm Brianna.
At the end of 2024, we decided we wanted to cultivate more safety, peace, love, alignment, and excitement through our art and our art practices.
So here we are sharing our journey with you, and we're so excited you're here. We hope you enjoy our conversations. They're honest, raw, just two friends talking to each other about the realities of life and creativity. We're so excited for you to join us and be along with us for the journey.
We're currently 2 months into the Art Piece Experiment, but we've been recording podcast episodes throughout this entire time. The first few weeks, not quite worth sharing. We were learning what we were doing, but week 3, we felt pretty good about it, and we want to share the conversation that we had. We have one that's really just a conversation talking about art and life and what creativity means to us. And that's part 1. Part 2 for this week is the check-in. We have an artist check-in where we're talk about the actual art that we created and what we kind of learned from that. So I hope you enjoy part 1 of the first episode of our podcast. Week 3.
Woohoo!
A whole nother week. Okay, normally I ask you what if you painted this week, but I'm going to break the mold a little bit, and I actually want to share a quote that I got from a book that I listened to while painting.
Oh, I love it. Okay, let me hear it.
This past week. Now you have to forgive me a little bit because there is a word in this quote that I do not know how to pronounce. So I'm just going to let everyone know right off the bat I don't know how to pronounce this word.
Fair warning.
But it's a good enough quote that I'm going to embarrass myself to share it anyways.
Excellent.
Okay, so it's from a book called The Happiness Advantage, and it is a business book, okay? But this quote is good even for people who don't want business books because it's not about business, okay? It's about happiness.
Okay.
All right. It says, perhaps the most accurate term for happiness, then, is the one Aristotle used. Eudaimonia. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Say it, eudaimonia.
Eudaimonia, which translates not directly to happiness, but to human flourishing.
Human flourishing.
Yeah. And I just felt like we needed to talk about that today. And I wanted to see if that resonated with you the way it really resonated with me.
Yeah, I love that. Happiness means human flourishing. Ugh, that's powerful. That's so good.
I know, right? He has a few other things in there that he said that I also had to jot down. Like happiness is the joy we feel striving after our potential.
Ooh.
Which just built on that idea of human flourishing. And, happiness is not the belief that we don't need change. It is the realization that we can. And to me, that really just goes with not necessarily like change, but like we can grow. It's this idea that we can grow.
All about the growth mindset.
Right. That flourishing, that growth, that
it's not about the arriving, it's about the journey.
Yes.
Oh, so good.
I love it. And I, listened to that while I was painting a flower. So it was good.
It's a perfect moment there, right there.
Yeah. It reminded me of a conversation we had that you shared with me. I think you heard this from somebody else, but that, like we as humans, we're the only ones that really hold ourselves back in nature. And that, like flowers and trees and everything else, they just do what they have to do to not just survive, but to flourish. They reach for that sunlight. They grow their roots to find the water in the soil. Like they don't hold back. They're like, no, this is me, and I'm gonna thrive and be beautiful and like beautify the world.
Yeah, that I just love that so much. That I heard that from Valerie McKeon, and she is amazing, and I love her. But she was talking about that, like how, yeah, in nature, a rose doesn't look at a daisy and say, "Oh, I'm not a daisy, so I shouldn't bloom to my full." Like I gotta hide myself. No, they take all the sunlight they get. They take all the water they get. They take all the nutrients in the soil that they get, and they just bloom. They
Yeah.
just go for it. They just bloom to their fullest potential, right?
And I'm so grateful that they do.
And wouldn't we be missing out, right? If they
Right.
didn't, it would be so sad to not be able to experience a rose because it was afraid it wasn't a daisy or
Mm.
embarrassed or,
Yeah.
and it's the same with us as humans. We
Hmm.
all have these amazing traits and gifts and talents and points of view and perspectives,
Yeah.
and we all have something worth sharing because
Hmm.
we're all unique.
Hmm.
And aren't we grateful for the people that do show up and do share their themselves, their essence,
Right. Right.
for the people that make the most impact on our lives, it's because they have shown up.
They have shown up. Yeah, I've seen a lot of things online lately of artists and other creatives being like, "Oh, the world is so dark and
Mm,
right now, like, is it even worth it to like create
mm-hmm.
and like, is it okay to share
Share happy things
share
and light
happy
things.
things, right? And share this beauty?" And it's like, yes, we need it.
Yeah,
We need
because
it.
it's so hard. That is that's the reason that we need this. We need the
Yeah.
light to help in the darkness, to shine in the
Mm,
darkness. We need the beauty of the world and the beauty of people, of human beings,
yeah.
that
Yeah.
hope and that light.
Yeah, I mean, the sun doesn't say, well, it was really dark last night, so maybe I shouldn't shine today.
Yeah.
It comes up every day anyways, and then the night comes every night and it's like
Mm,
it's okay to
have both.
have both. Yeah, like within ourselves, within society, it's like
Yeah.
and it's okay to shine.
Because without those cloudy days, we wouldn't be so happy to have the warm, sunny days,
It's true. It's
If
true.
we didn't experience the cold, cloudy, miserable, depressing, you know,
Yeah.
days, we wouldn't be so joyous. I mean, it's the first week of spring this week, and it's like,
Ah,
yay!
yay! I'm so happy
The sun is shining,
after
the
this
tulips are
long
coming up,
cold
things are
winter.
yeah, are
Yeah.
growing, and it's so full of joy and hope and like
Mm,
relief, and
yeah.
those positive feelings. But if it was that way all the time, it would be like, it's
Yeah.
just another day.
Yeah. And like how often do we look at ourselves and just think like we all have those moments of just, you know, stopping ourselves
Mm-hmm.
from growing and flourishing and being that light and being that beauty and feeling like, oh, how could I make like I couldn't make someone else's day better. Or
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't,
Yeah, right.
be that or like I'm not deserving of that. Like, yeah, you are
Mm-hmm.
deserving of being that light and that goodness and like
Mm-hmm.
just the fact that you exist makes the world a better place.
Yeah, yeah.
Um and I don't know. I just ah.
So good. That kind of reminds me of a conversation I had with Danny, my son, the other day. He was asking me, he was like, Mom, what are some of the worst things that have ever happened in your life? And then he was asking, what are some of the best things that have ever happened in your life? And,
Mm,
so I was kind of thinking about it. And I was like, well, you are the best thing, obviously,
obviously.
right? First and fourmost. But then
Hmm.
after that, it was kind of like, well,
Aunt Tasha.
Aunt Tasha is the best thing. That's right. But it was kind of like it was hard to pick like a singular thing. Um,
Mm,
and as I was thinking about it, I was like, some of the best things in my life have come because of some of the hardest things in my life.
yeah.
And the growth that I've had and the people that I've met because of
Mm,
experiences and like I don't know, just like the things that have happened because of the hard things
right.
ended up being some of the very best things in my life.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of an interesting observation to make that going back to the dark and the light and like needing both in life.
Right.
If we didn't have the dark, we wouldn't appreciate the light. And yeah, and so knowing that we all have that inside of us, the dark and the light,
Mm,
and we have good days and bad days, and it's just a human experience. But
right.
being able to look at it with that sense of gratitude and that perspective, of like
Mm-hmm.
we need both, and they're both okay.
Right.
It's both. It's okay to have both,
Mm,
and the point is not to just be happy all the time,
yeah.
but to go on that journey of growth.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the quote? What did they say? We got to read it again.
The full thing?
Yes, all of
Ah,
them.
oh my gosh, hang on. Let me find it. Okay. Perhaps the most accurate term for happiness, then, is the one Aristotle used, eudaimonia,
Yep.
which translates not directly to happiness, but to human flourishing.
Mm. Human flourishing.
Mm-hmm.
Flourishing. I love that. And with,
Mm,
in nature, there are good days and bad days. There are days where it just downpours,
yeah.
but then that means that they get
Stronger roots.
stronger roots, right?
You get that
When the wind
nutrient you
blows,
need.
they grow stronger. When the
Mm-hmm.
floods come in, they get more water, right?
Yeah.
Like they get the things that they need through the hard times too. And then the sun shines and they need that too.
Right. And there's this full balance in that cycle
Yeah, right.
and growth.
It's
There's just
beautiful.
growth. It is beautiful. And like
Yeah.
all of those days and times are beautiful, except for maybe wind. I don't really like wind, but
Right.
okay, well, just destroyed my point a little bit. But I
Yeah.
mean,
We just got to cover
yeah.
up.
But I mean, we don't have to like love and cherish all of those bad times
That's right. We don't have
either,
to.
or even times of growth.
We
Like that's not
don't have to
that's not
like that.
necessary. But it is helpful to recognize the growth
Yeah.
that came from those times.
Right.
And it's not even a matter of like, oh, I'm so grateful that that happened, but you can come back to this like, I am grateful that I am resilient.
Mm-hmm.
Like I am grateful that I took that bad situation and I learned and I
Right.
grew and it's like
Yeah.
being grateful for that power within yourself
Mm.
to, being this thing that can flourish and
Mm.
can grow. Like that's amazing.
Yeah. And I think that is in kind of all areas of our life too.
Mm-hmm.
And even like in creativity,
Mm-hmm.
knowing that it's not going to look good the first time. Like we're going to have
Right.
times of frustration and times of learning, and we
Mm-hmm.
learn from the things that go wrong, right?
Right.
We just watched Moana 2, and the crazy builder lady, she is like, there's only learning, then no, she said, there's only failure, then learning, then death.
Oh my gosh.
And it's kind of funny, but it's kind of true at the same time a little bit. Like we fail, we learn
Yeah.
from our
And she
failures,
says that with
right?
such happiness and
Yeah,
contentment.
she does. She's like so excited about it. And it's really funny. But it kind of got me thinking about that, like it's okay to fail, like it's okay to
Yeah.
fail because you're learning from it. It's
Mm.
okay to not get it right because you're learning now that's not how to do it the way that you want to do it, or
Right. Right.
and so then it builds your knowledge, and it builds your experience, and it builds your growth and your resiliency. It's really
Mm.
a good thing.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
great thing. And sometimes we can get so discouraged, like speaking from personal experience,
Right.
like sometimes I get so discouraged, and sometimes I like the fear of failing just makes me not even start, like I don't even start because I'm
Right.
afraid of failing.
Right. It's like this
Um,
thing that's so important to me that I want to do. I'm not going to do
I
it
can't
because
do it.
that's so relatable.
Yeah. So, having that like mindset shift of
Mm,
failing a good thing, and it can be a
right.
joy, right? Maybe take
Right.
some of that
Yeah.
happy energy from Moana 2 and say, it's okay.
It's
Like, yay,
okay.
we failed.
I mean, I
I don't
didn't
know.
paint traditionally for years because of that.
Right.
The fear of wasting paint and messing up
Yeah.
paper. And
Mm.
it's like, okay, but ah, now that I've started again, it's like, why did I wait so long to do this?
Yes, yeah. When you finally actually start and you're like, oh, this is
Yeah, this
amazing.
is amazing. But had I started sooner, I still would have been in that mindset of like, I just wasted paper. I just wasted
Mm,
paint. And it would have been like this really negative thing. So I had to go through that emotional journey and growth to get to that point
I
of
love
being
that.
like, you know what? It's okay if I mess this up.
I love that because I
Mm-hmm.
feel like sometimes when I hear people say that, I wish I just started sooner, and then I like think about myself and what I'm holding myself back from. And then I'm like, oh, I'm holding myself back. And then I like go into that self criticism, like
Right.
make myself feel bad.
Yeah, like I should have started sooner like them, but I didn't, and I'm
Now
still
I'm
not going to
terrible. Yeah,
today. And
like
I've just
there's something wrong with me. Yeah, all the negative things, but really you have to be you have to go on that journey, and that's a good journey to go
it is
on.
a good journey to go
And
on.
it's okay to go on that journey, and it's okay to take your time and to
Mm,
warm up to it and take baby steps, and like
yeah.
just kind of think about it for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
that's okay.
That's okay.
That's okay, and it's
Yeah.
good because those are things that help you
Yeah.
too,
Yeah. And I mean, I think it's important to take steps forward.
Yes.
I think sometimes, which I'm very guilty of this, like sometimes we feel like we just have to leap in full throttle and
Mhm.
just like go for the thing that,
You're gonna do it, go all in.
yeah, which I do that.
we just
We
we just
just
had a conversation.
we did. We did.
About that.
Yes. Um, oh my gosh, what were we even talking about? I don't remember.
I think we were talking about learning how to crochet. Oh, that's
Oh,
right.
that's right.
We were talking about learning how to crochet and, how difficult it is to like make little stuffed animals and stuff. And I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's probably not the best thing for a beginner to start with because it's kind of hard. And she was like, well, do I ever start anything at beginners?
Like, why would I make a scarf if I can make a stuffed animal? Like, I want to make something for my daughter, and yeah, I
Just jump right in.
jump right in. Don't make it easy for myself. Um, yeah. So
Which is fine
it's
too. But
it's
that's great.
it's fine. It's fine. I started making one, and it has all different size legs and arms, and it's very wonky. And
So cute, and she's gonna love it when you finish it.
whenever I
When
finish it,
she's
it's
like
currently in the
50 years
closet
old, it's fine.
upstairs. Yes. She'll like find all the pieces and be like, maybe I'll finish this for you, mom. Yeah. She'll show it to her kids and be like, look at your grandma.
Look what your grandma made.
So lovingly attempted for
Yes.
me. And then moved on to embroidery because that is my soft art of choice. It's more
Well,
fun.
see, but that was good. You tried crochet and you were like, actually, I don't know that this is for me.
I
But
don't find joy in
still
this.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
I still want to do something with textile, like thread
Yeah.
and yarn. And so then it like led you to embroidery, which then you tried and you found, I love this. Like
Yeah.
you're finding so much joy in it.
I get to draw.
Yeah.
I get to draw. And then
Paint with threads.
paint with threads, it's so much fun and it's so relaxing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, it's great. I feel like I had another point that I was going towards and then derailed with this story, but
That's okay.
that was fun.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Well, I don't remember where that was going, but I did have a question for you.
Mm.
So, thinking about this human flourishing, I am curious if you think like let's just keep it like from individual perspective, but do you think you as an individual could flourish without creativity?
Mm. That is such a good question. I don't think so because I fully believe that creativity is something so inherent that like I think we are all born with it, but
Mm-hmm.
individually.
Mm-hmm.
I know that like I would just kind of shrivel up and
Yeah.
die. Like like I would just be such a shell
Mm-hmm.
that without creativity and without those ways to express myself, and that goes within like not even just painting, but doing like crochet or sewing or making beading bracelets or whatever,
Right.
or decorating my home, like those are all ways that I express myself
Mm-hmm.
creatively,
Right.
and are a way that I find joy and fulfillment
Mm-hmm.
in. And so without creativity, without being able to express those things, and without art in that way, and like singing and dancing and
Mm-hmm. Playing the
music,
piano.
yeah, playing the piano, it's huge for me. And so um yeah, it would be miserable. Like
Right.
life would just be sad and dismal and
Mm,
and just so gray. Like that's the
yeah.
image that I keep,
Right.
it's like
It's like
in those infomercials where
yes.
they're like all grayed out and they're like, this, you don't want this.
Yeah, that's exactly what just popped into my head. I was going to say the same thing.
The terrible life.
And then you get this vacuum and your life is wonderful. It's like,
Oh.
yeah, the vacuum of creativity.
Yep. Okay, so now I want to hear your answer to the question.
Yeah, I would shrivel up and die. I don't think. I think I would lose pretty much all will to live.
Yeah.
I mean, I am a mom, so
Mm,
I would keep plugging on for her, but I feel like even motherhood
mm.
is an act of creativity.
Yes. You have to think up so many different things
Yeah.
in a creative way, in a different way,
Yeah, like
and
how do
like,
I handle this meltdown?
yeah.
What are we making for dinner
How
tonight?
do I explain this thing?
How do we survive summer and having this child like
Yeah. What activities can we do so that we don't go
right,
crazy, or
right.
like that will teach them this one principle that I'm trying to instill in them,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
like that, so that we can have fun together.
Right.
There's so much creativity.
So much. And my main joys in life are being a mom and creating art
Yeah.
and reading books, which
Mm.
is somebody else's creativity.
Yeah.
Um
Right. Like all the things that we enjoy ingesting. Whoa. All the things that we enjoy, like ingesting. That's a weird way to put it. I don't know. I can't think of a different way. But all the things that we enjoy in life also
consuming. Yeah.
consume, yeah,
Yeah.
are creative things from other people.
Yeah.
Come from other
Yeah.
people's creativity.
Right.
Shows, music,
Yeah.
books, like artwork, like all the things that make life enjoyable and
Mhm.
fun and
Yeah.
joyous,
Right. I mean, even nature, something about nature feels
Yeah.
very creative.
Mm. Yeah, because
Like,
no two flowers are the same, right? Like no,
yeah.
like the leaves on the tree are all a little bit different, or like
Mm.
there's differences, and there's creativity, and there's um
Like, that flower made a really great creative choice. And it's blooming. Loved
so on point. Love it.
it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, but nature, I mean, that's all that it is
Mhm.
creation,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is beautiful.
It is beautiful. All the worthwhile good things in life, I feel like
Hmm.
stem from creativity.
Mm.
Um, yeah, and like we're artists, so we focus on art, but
More of the
something,
aesthetic,
yeah, the aesthetic
the
and all
looks
of
of
that.
things.
But creativity comes in so many different forms
Hmm.
as well. Like, one example that I always come,
Cooking. What are we gonna have for dinner
what do
tonight?
we have
Let's
for
get
dinner tonight?
creative.
Yeah, but like something that has stuck with me since I was a teenager was my brother was in a really horrible rock climbing accident,
Hmm.
and he would have lost his feet.
Mm.
Um, probably would have been amputated, like
Mm.
part legs down, and would have lost both of his feet and never would have. Well, I mean, I suppose he could have walked again, potentially, different things. But the only reason that he was able to keep his feet is because he was life flighted to a hospital where there was a surgeon there who had just invented this surgery
Wow.
that could put his feet back together
My goodness.
and saved them. And you don't always think of like doctors as being creative,
Yeah.
but he invented this surgery. He's the only person in the entire world that could have done this surgery, and he happened to be at the
Wow.
hospital. So like miracles upon miracles, but
Yeah.
it
Chills.
it was this man's creativity that had this huge impact
Mm.
on, another human's life
Yeah.
that then impacted, the rest of his family. Like his
future
future
Yeah.
family, like, my little niece
I
and
know.
nephew.
Now they
And
have two little
two little kids now, and now he's a doctor.
A foot doctor.
A foot doctor.
Yeah, it totally impacted the rest of his
The rest of his
life, and then the lives that he
Yep.
in turn impacts.
Yeah, and it
Because
stemmed
of
from
one person.
one person who embraced their creativity. Right? And so creativity comes in so many different forms, but it is what makes the world, society, individuals beautiful.
Yeah.
Like it adds that worthwhile element of not just surviving, but like thriving, flourishing.
I love that so much.
Me too. I am very passionate about this. I feel like it's, I just want everyone to embrace their own unique creativity, and, not comparison, not looking at other people and, like, well, they're creative this way, so I should be that way too. And it's like, no. Embrace what is special about you.
Yeah.
And that is what's going to have the most impact, not only on your life, but touching everybody around you and making the world more beautiful. So
I feel like I hear a lot too. Oh, I'm not creative.
False.
Yeah. That's a lie.
That is a lie. That's a lie. That is a lie you are telling yourself.
Yeah. Or that somebody has, like whether it's society, like
you've been brainwashed.
Yeah. Where you feel like what it means to be creative is only like in one way.
Yeah.
There's only one way to be creative. That's
false.
False. That's
Just
not
call
true.
us the creative Mythbusters here.
There we go. That's our new slogan. But I hear that a lot from people that like, oh, I can't draw, so I'm not creative. Or, like I can't do this, so I'm not really that creative. And even me, like even I have felt in the past, like I'm not really that creative. Like I can copy things, but I'm not creative.
Yep.
And it's like, whoa. Let's stop, rewind, and like think about that for a second. Because we are all created with such immense creativity. We are just born that way.
Yeah.
I mean, there were studies done on children that shows because of their creativity levels, they're like at genius level.
Right.
And then as they go through life and like as they go through school and you like have
start
to
conform.
Yeah. And are not able to keep the creative problem solving, and things like that, then they're like
less genius.
Yeah. They're like, I don't know if it's their IQ, but they let go of that creativity. Right. And so it's not that we don't have it. It's just that we haven't maybe learned how to use it or learned how to recognize our creativity.
Yeah.
Because just like we were talking about with motherhood, we're being creative every single moment, right?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Like it's even just like thinking about what to make for dinner tonight is an act of creativity.
Yeah.
Because it's thinking outside the box a little bit. It's like using our own, I don't know, like what is creativity? I guess maybe we should talk about that. Like what is creativity?
Yeah, I mean thinking about it, like even something like empathy and compassion are acts of creativity in a way. It's like getting outside of yourself and sending love to, like loving other people that are different than you takes an amount of creativity.
Yeah. Thinking outside of your own experience
Right.
and imagination, right?
Mm-hmm.
Empathy,
Mm-hmm.
you kind of have to have imagination with that,
Yeah.
because you have to imagine what it would feel like. You
Mm-hmm.
have to imagine what they've gone through, and
Mm-hmm.
you put yourself in their shoes. That's like using your imagination of how you would
Right.
feel,
Right.
right?
And that
Because
often
you haven't
comes.
actually felt that. You haven't actually felt that, because you haven't actually experienced that. But
Yeah.
by using your creativity and your imagination,
Yeah.
that emotion can come up. Like you can actually feel,
Mm-hmm.
sadness because of thinking about somebody else's
Mm-hmm.
sadness, or
Mm-hmm.
joy, thinking of someone else's joy, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of times that comes from storytelling too.
Yeah.
Like hearing another person's story, whether you get it from, a movie that
Mhm.
shows a different experience from yours, or, a friend
Mhm.
who shares something with you and it opens your mind to something new.
Yeah.
But the only way to, I feel like, really embrace that is through your own creativity and imagination. And, it runs deep.
Yeah.
It runs deep because it's just that whole part of your soul.
Mm.
It runs on creativity.
Yeah, it's in our very essence.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so if you think you don't have creativity, just know that that's not true. Like you
Not at all.
are born creative,
Mm.
and you just have to figure out what that looks like for you, like what feels good to
Mhm.
you,
Yeah.
and really embrace your intuition
Yeah.
and your own feelings and what interests you and excites you,
Yeah.
and it'll lead you
Yes.
to finding your way to your creativity and lead you
Mhm.
into creative pursuits.
Right.
Just
Right.
like with crochet, you were like, "Oh, that looks cool. I really want to try it." And then you realized it wasn't for you, and that led you to embrace,
Mhm.
it was because you
Taking those steps.
embraced that,
Yeah.
like, interest
Mhm.
and that desire, and
Willingness to fail.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then it led to something even better,
Try and try
right?
again. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep. Yep.
which I love.
And not necessarily looking at all of that as like failures. Like sometimes that word
Mhm.
is feels a little harsh.
Yeah,
Um, but it's just those taking those steps forward to discovery and
an
an
experiment.
experiment, which
Yeah.
it's all just play,
Which is,
you
I
know.
think, a lot of why we called what we're doing the art piece experiment,
Yeah,
because we're experimenting.
we are.
We're trying to figure
Mm,
out how to find peace in our creativity,
right.
and how to really embrace that,
Yeah, and how
and not be
to
afraid of failing.
yeah, which comes down to loving ourselves.
Yeah.
It's really an experiment about loving ourselves.
Whew.
I know.
Yeah.
Which creativity is all about coming back to that, I am worthy of thriving.
Mm.
Like I'm not just surviving, I am putting beauty into this world.
Yeah, and really connecting with your inner self,
Yep.
like your true self,
Yeah.
is what, I don't know. I think that's what the journey really is about for me,
Mhm.
is learning who I am and what I like and what I want out
Right.
of life, and
Mhm.
learning how to thrive.
Yeah, and what beauty do I want to create
Yeah, and put
in
out into
this
the world,
life?
right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. We're so glad that you're here. If you'd like to give us a comment or leave any takeaways that you had from this episode, we would love to hear your thoughts and have you join our little community. Episode 2 is here and available now. We talk about our artist check in and what we did during the week to help us create a space of safety and joy around our creativity. So if you'd like to have a listen, go ahead and pop in the next episode, and we'll see you there.